Welcome back to Scouting Movies, everybody. Let's talk some baseball today. Uh, we're going to talk about the movie called Bull Durham, which starred Kevin Costner, Tim Robbins, and Susan Sarandon, in a movie that talks about baseball just as much as it talks about life and love and sex and what failure means and just what life means in general. So let's talk about what Bull Durham is. I'm going to set the scene here with a synopsis of Bull Durham. Uh, it drops us into the world of minor league baseball, specifically the Durham Bulls in Durham, North Carolina. It's one part ball club, one part soap opera here because we follow three main characters. Crash Davis, played by Kevin Costner, who's a veteran catcher, has a deep love for the game, but and a low tolerance for nonsense. He's brought in by Durham Bulls to help mentor the young pitcher whose name is Nuke LaLoosh, played by Tim Robbins, who's a hotshot pitcher. He has all the right stuff, but also the maturity of a golden retriever. He doesn't know how to handle himself, and so Crash Davis is kind of brought in to help mature him and help teach him the rules of life a little bit. And then there's Annie Savoy, played by Susan Sarandon, who's a baseball obsessed woman who picks one player each season to mentor, if I can put it that way. Uh, she chooses one player each season to have an affair with, and so what unfolds is part romantic comedy, part coming of age story, part love letter to the sport of baseball, and it all works way better than it has any right to. So let's talk about the review for the movie. First of all, I have to talk about sports movies in general. The one pet peeve for me on for sports movies is when you see these quick cuts or the what happens in the editing room to fix uh, the unathletic ability of the actors that are trying to play athletic people. You see it in, for example, football, where there's a close up shot of the quarterback throwing the football, and then you get the shot of the football in midair giving a spiral. It's a close up shot, and then the receiver catches it. Obviously, in the editing room, the quarterback threw the ball, but who knows how good of a throw that was? It just kind of ducked its way somewhere randomly. And who knows how close the quarterback was who actually caught the football, or the receiver was when he actually caught the football. It could have been from 3 feet away. And they just edit it in post production. Uh, so obviously those are editing tricks to fix a guy who actually can't throw a football that well, or a guy that is doesn't want to run 30 yards to go catch a football later on, and who knows if he can catch one really that well. There's editing tricks that a lot of sports movies use to fix the deficiencies of the actors in terms of athletic ability. Ron Shelton, the director and writer of this movie Bull Durham, is a former minor league baseball player himself. And that is obviously a pet peeve for him too, because he's shooting real people playing real sports. In this case, baseball. Tim Robbins is up there on the pitcher's mound, and he's throwing fastballs, and he has, uh, they're probably only 70, 80 miles an hour or whatever. They're not top league 100-mile-per-hour fastballs necessarily, although some of the tricks make it look that way. But it's him throwing the baseball, and it's him throwing the baseball fairly well. I mean, it's not going way off the mound. He's throwing it across the plate at a pretty high quality pitching. And then Kevin Costner is behind the plate as a catcher, and he's calling out signals and he's giving good baseball lingo. And then when he's at the plate, he's actually doing the full routine and he's hitting the ball. He's swinging the bat. He's doing everything that a baseball player needs to do. I love Ron Shelton's passion for sports when it comes to this because uh, he wants to have his actors play the sport, and he wants to have us as the audience watch these actors actually play. And it's really satisfying to see these actors actually play these roles. And that obviously those are two of the players, but everyone on the team is actually sliding and catching and hitting and doing that kind of thing. If you can't play the actual sport, you're not going to be in a Ron Shelton movie. Because that's important to him, and it's important to us as the audience as well. Uh, Beyond the physical stuff, the actual playing of the game, the movie captures the rhythm of the game of baseball, the quiet moments, the conversations between pitcher and catcher when the catcher comes to the mound to talk about what's going on, the games within the game. It doesn't just show baseball; it really understands it. Obviously, from Ron Shelton, who's a former minor league player himself, there's a really cool spot in the film where Crash gets upset with the umpire about a call, and he gets in his face and he's talking about it, uh, and he's really angry about it. And he says a particular word. This is an R-rated film. I'm not going to repeat right here, but he keeps calling him that, and the umpire says, "Call me that one more time, and you're thrown out." And he calls him that. Once again, he says, "Okay, you're out of here." uh, and it's just a really funny interaction. But you get the sense that that's kind of what is happening in those ejection moments between umpire and manager, or umpire and player, or umpire and catcher. It's these dumb exchanges because you always kind of wonder, what are they saying down there? I want to hear what's going on. In this case, you kind of feel that some of those things are what is actually happening in a making fun of it kind of funny comedy way. Where Boulder really levels up is the writing of the screenplay. Ron Shelton is an excellent writer, and he's got the dialogue and the monologues really hit well. Uh, Kevin Costner has an early monologue, probably, I don't know, 20 minutes into the movie, where Susan Sarandon's character is asking him what he believes in, if it's not love, if it's not uh, having a good time and all that. And Kevin Costner has this great monologue where he talks about what he really believes in. It's long, it's rambling, uh, it's instantly iconic. Uh, where he talks about deep sunsets and kisses that make you want to come back for more, and a few other things like that. Uh, it's not always about the big speeches, although there's a few of them in this movie. Everyday dialogue between characters feels lived in. These characters have been in locker rooms, on buses, in motel rooms. It's casual, it's funny, and then out of nowhere, it just hits you with powerful kind of dialogue that makes you feel it. So that was brilliant dialogue. It's a movie that's philosophical at its core. It's about growing up. It's about maturing. It's about purpose. It's about dealing with failure on the baseball field, on the baseball diamond, and in life. It's about doing something you love, even when it doesn't love you back. Let's talk about the cast, the three actors that I've mentioned already. Kevin Costner is all swagger and sadness. He's a veteran who made it to the big leagues for a couple of days, and he looks back on it with that it was the greatest moment of his life. He knows he's past his prime. He knows my goodness, he knows he's never going to make it back to those big leagues again. But he still plays because he can't not play. He brings a quiet melancholy to this. He's kind of frustrated with the career that he thought he was going to have that he hasn't ever had. And this movie is about him finding himself, finding how he is going to deal with the last few moments of his career and what love means to him: love of the game, love of people, and maybe love in particular of a particular person. Tim Robbins as Nuke is hilarious. He's a lovable dummy with too much talent, not enough wisdom. He nails this energy. He's an idiot, but he's a lovable idiot. He's just funny. Some of the lines he says are instant classics, instantly funny, uh, and but he's learning from Crash Davis in this movie. He's learning how to comport himself as a professional. Uh, and it's really really good as he matures and grows into that all-star baseball player that can make those big leagues near the end of the movie. And then there's Susan Sarandon's Annie. It's kind of a weird role on paper. She's part groupie, part guru, part baseball nerd, uh, part hooker. But Sarandon doesn't make her uh, into just this one dimensional character that can be all about sex. Uh, she makes her into someone that feels real. She's confident, she's sexy, she's smart, and she has chemistry with both actors, both characters. This love triangle doesn't feel forced as it would in maybe a lesser movie with lesser performers. It feels messy, it feels human, and it's really, really good. Here's the thing about the best kind of sports movies: the best kind of sports movies are not about the sport. And that sounds a little contrary because you think if you have a movie about a sport, then it really needs to have great sports action, and Bull Durham has that, has good baseball action, but it's more about the things surrounding the sport. In this case, it's about growing up and maturing and dealing with failure, both personal and professional, uh, and it's about it's for anyone who has ever loved anything so deeply that they can't let it go, that they have to do their best to be in it, even if the sport, even if the game, even if the person doesn't love you back. The dialogue is sharp, the characters are layered, the performances are great across the board, and the baseball is as good as it gets. So, what would I give Bull Durham as far as a grade goes? Uh, I'm going to give it an A. It's pure and simple, great movie. It's great baseball, great performances, great writing, and a great story all along. This is an A movie. It's one of the better baseball movies out there, one of the better sports movies out there, and it's also a good story. So I would go see it. If you haven't seen Bull Durham, you should. And let me know what you think. Let me know if I nailed the review, or if there's something about this that just didn't hit you right. What should I talk about next? What movie should I talk about? Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm coming out with more videos. Thanks, everyone.